Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about game 143 of the regular season where the Astros punk, bully, and steal the lunch money of their little brothers, the Texas Rangers, 15-1. This was a complete annihilation. Before I get into actually the game, I said I would talk about it this evening because I'm stupid, and instead of talking about it when it was still somewhat relevant, I'm choosing now to talk about the Jake Odorizzi thing because I thought it would be relevant with the start tonight, and then he left in the second inning with a foot injury, so it's completely irrelevant now, and I'm just stupid being caught with egg on my face too late after the fact. So speed running it. During his last start, Jake Odorizzi got pulled after throwing 66 pitches through 5 innings because the Astros have a rigid third time through the lineup rule with him, which is kind of, accurate according to the fact that he kind of sucks the third time through the order, but at the same time, he only threw 66 pitches. I don't know why you might not have left him in there for a bit longer. After the game, he said it was BS, but more colorful language was used from him, and the next morning, it seemingly was over with because he said, yeah, I talked with Dusty Baker and I talked with James Click and we're all cool. James Click said the same thing, and Dusty Baker said the same thing. It was all said and done, but then for some random reason, in this weird, backwards timeline, 2 days after the fact, the media started grilling him on it again, and same with fans, and then he publicly apologized via a written thing on Twitter and Instagram saying, yeah, I'm sorry, I kind of overshadowed a good win for the Astros by being a little petty about it. I'm sorry. I personally didn't think it was really an issue or that he needed to apologize a second time. It's a heat comment. He's a competitor. That kind of thing happens. I thought it was blown way out of proportions, and sadly he left the game rather early with a foot injury, but potentially, I don't think it's going to be a bad thing, at least I'm hoping not, especially with the playoffs right around the corner. Theoretically, I would put Javier back in as a starter for the next few games if you have to wait that long. I would do that anyway, just because I think Javier coming out as a starter is better than a reliever, but c'est la vie, that's just my opinion. I'll talk about everything, about Javier's evening anyway in a second. 15 runs. That is a lot, and because I don't want to make a 45-minute long video breaking down the entirety of the Astros offense, because with a night like this you probably could, I'm just going to speed run it. But first, I kind of want to do something fun with the first inning. Altuve singles, Bregman walks, force out by Jordan, a double by Yuli made it 1-0, a Kyle Tucker strikeout, and then Correa doubled. That made it 3-0. If you end it there, the Astros win. The offense could end after the 6th batter of the game, and the Astros win the game. That's not good if you're the other team. Then Jake Myers grounded out to end the inning. Anyway, a little bit later on in the second inning, Altuve doubles. That made it a 5-0 game, scoring a pair, Jose Siri and Garrett Stubbs. A absolute monster rocket by Yordan Alvarez to make it a 7-0 ball game. That was an absolute missile by Yordan. He hit the crap out of that ball. And, watching him tattoo baseballs is one of my favorite things to watch. In the third, Jose Siri hit his first home run of his career. That made it a 9-0 game. Jose Siri was not done for the evening. He had a really good night. Incredible, really. On the bottom of the third, a force out by Nathan Lowry. Oh, no. What are we going to do? Or Nathan Lowe, excuse me. What are we going to do? Whatever shall we... Yeah, it didn't. It didn't matter. It really didn't. On the 6th, Alex Bregman would hit a home run. Altuve would score. A little bit after that, Jose Siri would single to make it 13-1. In the 7th, Jordan homered again to make it a 14-1 ball game. Jordan again is just a monster. And then, ironically, briefly after that, Jose Siri with another home run to make it a 15-1 game. Speed run of the offense is over. There are some obvious things. Yordan Alvarez, 2 for 5, a walk, 3 RBIs, 2 homers. Fantastic. Scored 4 runs tonight. He was crazy good. Jose Siri went 4 for 5, 3 runs scored, 5 RBIs. He was ridiculous tonight. That is one of the more impressive starts I've seen. I believe that was his first start. If I'm not mistaken. I want to make sure I'm not... I think that was his first start. I could be wrong, but I think that was his first Major League start. And that, if that was his first start indeed, that might be the best debut in Astros history as a starter. The first starting debut. That was fantastic by Jose Siri. He blew the doors off. Other notable performances, Bregman went 2 for 3 with a walk. That's impressive. Altuve did the same. Both of them had 2 RBIs. Altuve had 3 runs scored, however, so he did great. The offense was absolutely just ridiculous tonight. Everyone showed up. Everyone did well. The offense quite literally popped off. 15-1 is an incredibly dominant performance, and I have nothing else to say about any of that. Jake Odorizzi, kind of sadly, looked really good through an inning in the third. Only gave up a pair of hits, got a strikeout. He looked solid, and then the injury happened. Christian Javier came in. He would give up 3 hits and a run, but got 6 strikeouts in 2 innings, or 2 2/3. So he pitched pretty darn well. I was really happy with his performance. I'd like to see him just coming out of the... I'd like to see him as a starter again. I really would. I want that back. Phil Maton looked a little dicey, gave up a pair of hits to start the game, or to start his outing for the night, but then retired 6 in a row, including a pair of strikeouts, to get out of it without any runs given up, or walks. Phil Maton, super underrated pickup, and I mean, now he's given way to an outfield that contains players like McCormick, like, he was in the game, Jake Myers. Jose Siri now might play some center field. You could potentially platoon all 3 of those guys in the postseason, just depending on the evening. That'd be wonderful if you have that. And then all that depth as pinch hitters. Like, you have Jose Siri, who, granted, it's been 9 plate appearances, but has just been crazy good in his short little stint and was great in AAA. I believe he was in AAA. You could have him off the bench. You could have Myers off the bench, all things depending, who... If you're starting Chas McCormick, Myers comes off the bench with like a 130-ish OPS plus, 130-ish WRC plus, or you have McCormick come off the bench who has like a 120 WRC plus. Like this team is so stacked. It's incredible. The Miles Straw trade, I love Miles Straw, but man, oh man, Phil Maton's been a great addition, and the guys who we've been able to have fill in for Straw has just worked wonderfully. Blake Taylor had a pretty decent outing, gave up a hit, but got out of it without a run surrendered. Brooks Raley looked fine. Yimi Garcia had a pretty nice inning in the 10th, got a double play if I'm not mistaken, and a strikeout. The pitching was fantastic. They only gave up 1 run. That's going to win you most games. 10 strikeouts for the staff tonight. That's fantastic. Only 1 walk surrendered, so they were incredibly frugal with that department. And when your offense scores 15 runs, that really just kind of says all you need to know. The offense was fantastic. That is really the only story for the evening. They were fantastic. The Mariners currently are tied, if I'm not mistaken, with the Red Sox. He had 2-2 in the 7th. They lost yesterday. So did Oakland. The Astros currently have a 7-game lead in the division. Could be 6.5 or 7.5, depending on what happens with the Mariners this evening. I believe our number is currently 14 as the magic number to clinch a playoff spot. 13 if the Mariners lose tonight. We're coming down the wire. We're in the last little stretch of games, which is weird because we're basically almost at the postseason. It's getting close, guys. It's really weird. It's been a marathon to do all these games this season, but I've just loved doing them. I've loved talking about every game. It's been it's been tiring at points, but it's been so much fun to just do this. I freaking love doing this every night. Love talking about it. Anyway, great game. I mean, how can you not think that? Tomorrow we play at 8:05 Eastern, 7:05 Central. They're going to send Jordan Lyles to the mound. He rolls out with a 5.43 ERA, rather high. Hopefully we can pounce on him. We send Greinke to the mound with a 3.66 ERA. He comes in fresh off of a decent little stint with COVID, which also the Greinke remark of I'm going to do what they ask of me, which usually isn't much. People kind of flipped out over that for like 5 minutes, and I just kind of heard them, and I'm like, do you not know who Zach Greinke is? Like, he's such a chill guy. Like, don't take that as anything. He might just be doing that to screw with people. It's Zach Greinke. Would that really surprise anyone? Also, I didn't take it as like that mean of a comment or anything. Like, we kind of have had a weird leash with him this year where sometimes we let him go way too long and other times we pull him way too soon. So, like, I kind of get the argument from Zach Greinke there, if I'm being honest. To play devil's advocate, I didn't see anything really necessarily wrong with that quote. Anyway, enough with that. I have an Instagram now. There's an Instagram page for this channel. I don't know how often I'm going to post on there, but that will be a thing occasionally. I'll leave the link for that in the description. I'll also leave a link for my Twitter in the description because I also do that, and I kind of just say random things. I posted recently about finding randomly in my hometown in Florida, finding a 2016 Oakland Athletics, like, card set. I don't know why, but that was at my local Target. You should follow the Twitter. I post really stupid things and random things that probably I only find funny or interesting. Anyway, that is all I have to say for the evening. I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. And as always, go Astros.